Very well, we're on Thomas Eganus and we restart on page 50. In fact, it's the last sentence on page 50. And I will go round in the order in which I can see you on my composite screen. Which means, Chris, you're first.
Hello, James. Okay. Kutra Tishamaha.
Yes.
That means, where are we standing?
Okay, and if there was only two of us, how would you ask that question?
Okay. So that would be we two. So
that's right.
That would be let's Kutra Tishtavaha.
That's correct. It's with a v. By the way, there's one point. I think it applies to every single part of every single verb. I think in Sanskrit, but certainly it applies to all the normal parts of verbs. That where you have an M in the first person plural, it's we plural. The dual is always exactly the same, save that it's a V instead of an M. So kutra tishtama, where are we plural standing? Kutra tishtava, where are we dual standing?
Yeah.
So that rule. If I find an exception to it, I'll let you know. But I out of my head, I can't think of any exception to that rule.
Yeah.
Right.
James, I wonder if I could ask you a question.
Please.
About the I don't want to really send you down a rabbit hole this early in the class, but I was doing a bit of research into the oldest surviving language, and I was given to understand it was Sanskrit, but there seems to be quite a lot of controversy on the internet that it might be Tamil. And so I'm looking at the Tamil keyboard in the LexiLogos tool. There obviously seems to be quite a lot of similarity. And I believe Tamil is widely spoken in southern India and Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Tamil is spoken in Tamil Nadu, basically southeast India.
Right.
Kind of bottom bit of the cone of India, eastern side.
Okay.
And there are, of course, quite a lot of Tamils in Sri Lanka. Yeah, which are basically divided into two groups: the long-term, the old Tamils, and Tamil labor that was brought over to work the tea plantations under British rule. But a query: Tamil, of course, one of the Dravidian languages, with Kannada, Malayalam, and so on, a couple of others. Telugu is another. These are the modern descendants of the ancient Dravidian languages of India. Which were the languages of India before the Indo-European speaking invaders came in 3 and a bit thousand years ago.
Right.
Some people, sorry, go on.
Sorry, there does seem to be a considerable amount of controversy on the internet. I found some quite heated comments. Some people seem to be of the view that Tamil is an older language, although others that's not the case. There isn't the archaeological evidence to support that, and that Sanskrit is actually the oldest. So I've been mired a little bit in controversy on the internet trying to sort this out. I just wondered what your view was as to the longevity.
I suppose ultimately you can take the view, and if somebody asks me how old I am, there are two separate answers. One answer, it depends where you start counting from. One answer to how old are you is I'm 77. And the other answer is 13.8 billion years. So it kind of depends at what point you start counting. The eldest language for which written evidence is available, in fact, is probably Hittite. And also the question, I mean, it's almost, if depending on your perspective, the question almost becomes a silly question. Because language began with the dawn of mankind.
Right.
And it stretches back and back and back, and millennia, many millennia ago, it's split into separate strands. So what's the oldest language of which we have an actual written record is one question. What is the oldest language as language is a completely different question. And we get a complication here, and it's a very interesting complication, because the oldest language, I think, of which we have a living record is probably Vedic, the primitive, the earliest form of Sanskrit.
Okay.
Now, I think we can fairly confidently say that simply because in the tradition of the Brahmins of India, the tradition of chanting the old Vedic texts has remained intact to this day.
Okay.
And you can go onto the internet and hear Brahmins chanting the Rig Veda, and they'll chant it virtually the same, although they're separated by thousands of miles from Kashmir down to the deep south of Tamil Nadu. They will be chanting these texts exactly the same. So we can say that probably the oldest spoken form of language of which we have a reasonably reliable, in this case of Vedic, a very reliable record is early Sanskrit. But to say that therefore Sanskrit is the oldest language is actually just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
As I say, am I 77 years old or many billions of years old? Language goes back and back. I'll do some more research on that. Another thing to remember, people do tend to get terribly excited about language.
Yes.
And their kind of egos and politics get so involved in it.
Right.
And you do get people saying Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. Well, come on. Sanskrit evolved from hundreds of thousands of years ago, just like any other language. Sanskrit certainly is the mother of a number of languages of northern India,
Okay.
and notably Hindi, Marathi, Punjabi, Bengali. Sanskrit is the mother of those languages. But you will get some Indians saying that Sanskrit is the mother of all languages in the world, which is just palpable nonsense, and is kind of an ego-inflated political statement. So there we are. I will do some research on that.
Right, thanks. That's very full. Thank you.
Right, I enjoyed that rabbit hole. Okay, so we now come to the translation from English into Sanskrit. Just a few sentences on page 51. And next on my composite screen is Charan. Yes. Charan, would you please translate into Sanskrit for us? The king lives there with the two boys.
So I would say, without Sandhi first, Tatra nirpah balabhyam sahavasati. And with Sandhi, it will be Tatra nirpoh balabhyam sahavasati.
Yeah, very good. Now I noticed that you put the report early in the sentence. Tatra nirpoh balabhyam sahavasati. I think you said.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And again, it would be equally correct to put the nripa as the second last word. Tatra balabhyam saha nripo vasati. But what you said was absolutely right.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, excellent. So, Bhante Yushi, might you kindly translate for us into Sanskrit? Where are you going with the elephants?
So where? Excuse me. The which translations? Sorry, I missed the.
Oh, it's on page 51.
Yes.
And the second sentence B, 7B.
Where the sentence B? Where are you going with the elephant?
That's the one, yes.
Yes. Where the where are you going with the elephants? Tuam gajai hisaha kutra gachasi.
Yes. And what if you were speaking to two people?
Two people. Yuan gajai hisaha kutra gachata. Kutra gachata.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
Right. John, you are next. I hope you're recovered enough to take on the task.
I'll try. I'm still
Yes, yeah, please do.
So, which was it? I've lost track already. C, yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're doing sentence number C. The man goes there for the horse.
Right. The man goes there for the horse. Well, the man is for, so that's dative, yes. So that's
yeah.
Naraya.
No.
Did you say Naraya?
Yes.
Oh,
That's what I tried to say.
It would be for the horse. You were saying Naraya would be for the man.
Oh, right.
But what is for the horse?
So that's horse. I've forgotten horse.
Ashwa.
Ashwa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got it written down. Ashwa. So that's Ashway. Hang on. Ashwaya. Ashwaya.
So Ashwaya for the horse, right?
So Naraha Ashwaya Gachati.
Yes. Okay, but there, how would you say he goes there? Just the man goes for the horse. But you put there.
There is Tatra. Yes. So
right. Put that into a nicely balanced, flowing sentence.
Naraha Ashwaya Tatra Gachati.
Okay, that's absolutely fine without the sandhi. Now, if you're going to put Naraha Ashwaya, what happens?
Naroshvaya?
Naroshvaya, yes.
Naroshvaya.
Naroshvaya.
Naroshvaya Tatra Gachati.
Okay, very good. Good, got that.
Trying to catch up, trying to.
No, I appreciate you've been out of commission for a little while. That's excellent. Thank you, John. And the next face upon my screen, Christine. The boy does not remember the king.
Right, let's see how we go here then. Okay, the boy, Bala,
Sorry, what did you say?
Bala.
Yes.
Boy. That's with a, hopefully,
Bala, yes.
Bala. Nurpam, na Smarati.
Ah, now.
What have I done?
Na, you said Smarati. In fact, it's Smarati.
Smarati.
Yeah, there's
Smarati.
quite
Yeah,
a,
sorry, I haven't got a lengthy one there.
yeah, there's quite a tendency for us these final ati to want to pronounce it ati. But we've got to resist that temptation, Smarati.
Yes.
As a slight aside, in Vedic Sanskrit, but not in Vedic, but not in classical Sanskrit, there is a subjunctive form, which would be Smarati. Ati becomes ati, but that is completely dropped into complete disuse in classical Sanskrit, and you don't see it. So, hang on, I'm hearing a voice coming at me from somewhere saying,
wasn't me.
How strange. Okay. Now, let me just share my screen for a moment. Where are we? Share screen. Boom. Sorry, I've got to resize everything now. Right, hopefully you can see my iPad screen.
Yep.
You can?
Yes.
Good, right. Christine, when you first said boy, how did you say it?
Bala. Bala.
Bala, that's better.
I'm not sure if I did say that.
Okay, no, well, no, I think it came out better as we went along. That actually is my favorite example. It's such an easy to remember example in the importance of getting the length of vowel right.
Yeah.
Because Bala is a boy, also means a fool actually. But what is it with the short ah, Bala?
Oh God, it's something bad.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. No. No, nothing bad at all. I mean, I carefully chose the most innocent of words for linguistic purposes.
And it's not fool, is it?
Bala means boy
Bala,
or child or fool, but they're both Bala.
Boy.
Yeah, yeah. But with the short ah, Bala means power or strength. Strength here. So.
Okay, let's see if we can always get that right.
So there's Bala and Bala. So there's Bala meaning strength, and Balin is strong. Balin, Bali. Okay, there we are. Okay, Christine, that was a bit too easy. How would you say in the plural, the boys remember the kings?
I knew there was something coming. Okay, the boys. Bala.
Yes.
Nirpan.
Yeah.
Shmaranti.
Excellent, you got that right. Now, if you said that was correct, Christine, very good.
Good.
But one further thing. If you say the boys just on its own as a word in isolation, how would you pronounce it?
Boys in isolation.
Let's say that one word meaning boys in the plural, nominative plural.
Bala. Oh no, Bala.
But with a strongly Balaha. Yes, Balaha.
A bit more H.
Yeah, with a strongly pronounced H with a shadow after it. Balaha.
Balaha.
Now it's followed by a word beginning with a voiced consonant, nrpan. So what happens to the ending of balah before a voiced consonant?
it just stays a long A?
That's right. So I'll write it here.
So balan
So bala on its own, but we've now followed
with the
so with a voice N, so that H dropped off. So balan ripan.
balan ripa.
That's right.
Ripan.
Balan ripan. That's correct. Okay, great. Thank you. Got that right?
Okay, good.
Good. Yeah, Janet, your turn to do sentence E.
Yes, okay. I'm speaking to the king about the 2 elephants. So in Sanskrit, you reverse the order. So the king, singular, 2 accusative, nirpam, gao jiao, goes in the duel of the 2 elephants. Vadami, I am speaking, but that's wrong order. That's the wrong order, isn't it? Those are the words as it was. It's getting the word order correct in Sanskrit. Gao jiao, nirpam, the accusative before the verb.
Yes,
vadami,
that's right.
Vadami.
That's correct. You got that exactly right. But how would you put it if it wasn't just 2 elephants, but multiple elephants?
Multiple elephants, that's the plural accusative.
Yeah.
So it's it's a long A-N ending. Gajam. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. So it's many elephants, and it's G-A-J long A-N.
That's correct, yeah.
And I don't know how to say it. Gajan?
Gajan, yes.
Gajan. Is that enough?
That'd be Nripam Gajan Vadami.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, very good. Ashvina, although you haven't shown your face, you did very kindly write to me to explain that that was only a problem with your camera and that you were willing. So I call upon you now, Ashvina, to do sentence F for us.
Okay, give me a minute.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Which sentence is it?
It's
I have the page open.
Yeah, okay. It's page 51, sentence F. It's the king goes to the horse for the sun.
Okay. Then Nripaha Ashwaya Gachat. No, Nripaha Ashwam Gachati Balaya, or son is Putraya.
Yes, you could say Balaya to Putraya. But the word order is you would tend to put the verb at the end. So
Okay.
So say the sentence again, but with gachati at the end.
Nripaha Ashwaya, no, Nripaha Putraya Ashwam Gachati.
Okay, very good. That is absolutely correct. I noticed that you initially said Ashwaya. Was that because you were using as if it were a dative to the horse?
No, I was confusing the for the sun and for the horse.
Okay, right. Okay, fine. Because yeah, you got that right. Whereas in English we say you go to somewhere. In Sanskrit, and it's the same in Pali. If you have a motion towards something, that takes the accusative. So you wouldn't say he goes to the city. You wouldn't say Nagaraya Gachati. That would be wrong. Nagarang gachati in the accusative. Okay, thank you very much, Ashvina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Me, sir.
Please,
Before proceeding, I want to check the sentence number D. The boy does not remember the king. Baraha nurupan nasmarati.
Yes.
So this sentence, if there's a sandhi, bara nurupan nasmarati. So is that right? Bara nurupan nasmarati. So, how about the girl? The girl, bara also, the bara nurupan nasmarati. The girl also bara nurupan nasmarati. So it cannot be distinguished between boy and girl here.
Okay,
right?
that's correct. Yeah, you've raised a valid point there. So if you have a masculine noun ending in a short a, and a feminine noun in the singular ending in a long a, in the nominative would be in the plural aha and a. Now in the plural, they both end in an a. So that's correct. There is no distinction. There's no grammatical distinction in the plural, in the nominative plural. This is the nominative. That's the first pratami vibhakti. In the accusative, dutiya vibhakti. Sorry. There is a distinction in the accusative, the dvitiya vibhakti, whereas the masculine would be an, but the feminine accusative plural is the same as for the r long r declension is the same as the nominative. But you're absolutely right about that. In the nominative plural, you lose the distinction between masculine and feminine.
Okay, I see. Thank you very much, sir.
Right. That was one of your easier questions for me, Bhante. Mostly you like to make them a little bit more difficult.
I'm not sure. Sorry for that.
No, don't be sorry at all. I think some of the most useful moments in my life have been difficult questions from Zen teachers trained in the Japanese tradition.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Right. Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
Right, so I called upon Ashvina. Are there any more volunteers who are currently not showing their faces? Otherwise, I'll just go the round again. Now, normally I don't call on people by name, but Teresa, as in Teresa Wood, you normally are very brave about it, and you show yourself. I'm not going to force you.
Well, it's just, yeah, I will answer the question today. Just I'm just out of bed, so I'm not very
okay, right.
But I'll answer. I'll be happy to answer because I did do some work on this.
Okay, very good, Teresa. Then, so that would be a terribly easy one. Sentence G. Just where are we standing?
Oh, where are we standing? Okay, kutra tishtamaha.
That's correct. Can you say the word for where again? And I ask in particular because you made the first vowel, the u, a little bit longer than I would have liked to hear.
Okay, kutra.
Kutra. It's a nice, nice short u. Kutra.
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 Tishtamaha.
Right. Okay, that was much too easy. How about where are you two standing as you in the dual?
Kutra. You in the dual. That'd be kutra tishtata. Gestarta. It's a th then
It is, yes.
with a aha at the end.
Yes,
Not
but
like traha.
it's you're lengthening the ah too much. It's a tishtata.
Tishtata.
It's not ata, but atta.
Oh yes.
Tishtata.
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 Tishtata. Tishtata.
Tishtata. It can be a bit of a tongue twister.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Teresa.
Okay.
So in the absence of any further volunteers, I'm going to say going, gone, and then back to Chris. Okay, going.
I'll do another sentence.
Okay, well done, Teresa. Yes, you're encouraging the others.
Okay, the man asks the boy about the horse.
And
So,
so I think you deserve a second go on St. Patrick's Day, don't you?
yes, exactly. The man asks the boy about the horse. So Nara. So Nara is this in the Nara, and then the end is Prachati.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's Nara, and it's a double accusative. So Nara,
Yeah, correct.
Ashvam, Balam, Prachati.
That was
Ashram and Balam.
Okay, that's all correct. Now say it with the correct Sandhi.
Okay. Okay. Naro Ashram Balam Prachati.
Almost, but
Nara,
remember, if
okay.
it's
it'd be Nara. Okay. Naravam.
Naroshvam.
Naroshvam. Oh, Naroshvam.
Yeah. So I'll just put it on my.
No, I haven't really grappled with the Sandhi yet.
Oh, okay.
How would that change could I just ask you about the writing? Because that's what I'm most interested in. If you were putting that together, the Nara and the Ashram, would that just become a long A after the Nara?
It doesn't know. What happens if it's an ah? If the word ends in an ah, as you can see on my iPad screen here, and the next one begins with a short ah,
yeah,
it merges into.
We can't see your screen, just to tell you now.
Oh, sorry, it maybe I'm pressing too low on the screen. Can you see now?
Mine, it isn't shared, but not that much. That could be just me. Anyone else?
It's short on mine. I can see it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Just me. It's just me.
I don't know.
Oh, you should be able to see. So the others can see my iPad screen. Can you?
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
right. Oh, can you see it, Teresa? Now?
Sorry, no, I can't. I'm lost.
Oh,
yeah, sorry. Have it.
You
okay,
got it now.
Okay, so yes.
So what I've written it here without the Sandhi.
Yes.
Now with Sandhi, it becomes the ah becomes an o. The ah becomes o, and the first ah of the following word just drops out. So it's written, so it becomes naroshvam.
So you'd write that as if it was or o with the the line and the little thing on top of it, and then for the apostrophe, would you have like an S there? Could you write it in Devanagari? Do you mind?
In Devanagari script, here we go. No. Okay, that is naro.
And there's kind of an S, is there, for the apostrophe?
So I've just written naro here.
Okay.
So far. Now, in Sanskrit, where this, instead of writing an apostrophe, which we write in the Roman script, Sanskrit has that sign there.
Yes.
For that's called the avagraha, literally taking out. It's equivalent to our apostrophe to show that the ah has gone.
Ah, yes, yeah.
So naroshvam.
Naroshvam.
Sorry, I didn't put the virama there. Naroshvam. I don't know. Some of you may be unfamiliar with this. That is the shva. the sh is like that, and the v is like that. So this would be, if it were written right, this word would be shava. Shava actually means a corpse. Now, when you write the sh with the v, one might feel inclined to write it like that, but no, it's the shape of the sh, which on its own is that. It changes, it becomes like that. There's just a little variation that you will learn. And shra, for example, you might feel inclined to write it like that with the, the little r there. But no, that's wrong. It is written like that. So shruti, for example. There's just a little variation in the sh when it's joined with a v and a r. Also, sometimes you expect to see that for shu, but it's often written like that. I think this is allowed, but this you will see both. Sometimes, rather than beating your brain over learning the shape, sometimes it's easier just to go into soft focus and kind of just see the sh there, see why, for ease of writing, it's come to be written like that. Okay, there we are. Thank you very much, Teresa.
Thanks, James.
Excuse me, I have a question about this sentence. Okay.
Please, Bhante, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, this sentence, the man asked the boy about the horse. The naro svam baram pruchati, or naro baram asvam pruchati. So my question is, what is the correct proper word order?
Okay. Of a word order.
Too.
Okay. The normal word order is that the person you are speaking to or the person you are asking goes immediately before the verb. So if you say naroshvam balam prichati, the normal meaning of then would be the man asks the boy about the horse. If you put it the other way around, if you put naro balamashvam prichati, that would mean the man is asking the horse about the boy. So basically, and it's all the same with talking to somebody about something. The person you're talking to, the person you're asking, in these double accusative, normally will find the person spoken to comes immediately before the verb. And the thing or person that you are talking about or asking about comes before that. So the man asks the boy about the horse would be the man, the horse, the boy asks. So naro shvam balam prichati. So is that clear, Bhante?
Yes. Yeah, I got the basic idea.
Right.
But it seems to me that it's very strange sentence. Don't you think so? Because let's say naro baran asubang adikrutya pruchati. For example, adikrutya, about. Adikrut, if you use the adikrut, the meaning should be much clearer, but
it would. Okay, you're absolutely right, and I don't totally like doing it this way because there are better ways of saying it. It's just that that's a little bit more advanced than the grammar we have done so far. To give you one example, we've talked about doing something for somebody. And we've just he goes for the boy, and we've got balaya in the dative, which is okay. But if you also want to say about you're specifically doing something for the benefit of somebody else, doing something for somebody in that way, you would actually tend to use in normal Sanskrit balartam.
Yes, barartam or barasakrute.
Yes, that's right.
Nadi gachati. Barartam viteren gachati. Barasakrute viteren gachati. Yeah, there are
That's right.
several ways. Yes.
There are several ways of doing it. The only reason I haven't introduced it at this early stage is just that I'm following the way that Eginus has introduced it, and as we go along in the book, all of these things will appear. But I certainly agree with you. There are other ways of saying it, and there are better ways of saying it. The only thing is, if we jumped at this stage right into the best way of saying it, it would overcomplicate the grammar at a very early stage.
Yeah, so sorry for that.
No, you were right. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I was going to mention it in this very lesson, that there are other ways of saying it. But anyway, it's done now. So thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I got the basic idea that just before the verb, the person whom the subject should ask.
Exactly so.
Okay.
That is dead right.
I see. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Now we're back to you, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah. And so sentence I, Rama goes there for the man.
Right. So breaking that down, then Rama needs to be in the nominative singular, and then I take that the tatra would always, as an indeclinable.
That's right. Yeah.
Be at the beginning of the sentence. Is that correct?
It doesn't have to be. As you know, just remember that the word order is more flexible in Sanskrit.
Right. So, and then you're going to need the dative singular for man, and then the verb would be third person singular. So tatra ramaha naraya gachati.
Yes, correct.
And
but now that we have explored an alternative way of doing it, what's another way of saying for the man? It was the one that Bhante Yushi just gave us.
Yeah.
I've just written it, underlined it for you on my iPad screen.
Yes, I didn't quite follow that drift of that.
Okay.
That's not an ending I recognize.
Okay, you wouldn't recognize, because we introduced it for the first time right now. Ways of expressing doing things for somebody instead of for a purpose or for the benefit. So far, because we're still at a very early stage of Sanskrit grammar, we have used just the dative, which in giving to, doing something for somebody. Yeah. But there are other ways of expressing it. So rather than just balaya, which we've learned so far, you can say balartam or balakrite.
Right.
So balakrite would mean.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, maybe the balasakrute. I think maybe the sixth case would become for the krute.
Mm.
Barartam, barasakrute. I think, as far as I know, as far as I know, if I'm not wrong, I think balasakrute.
I regret. I'm going to have to look this up. I won't interrupt the class now, but I will. This is something. I'll just make a note. I will check this out. I ought to know it in my head, but it's just escaped my head at the moment. But I'll come back to it at the next grammar class. Okay, so that's there, and we're now back to Just one sentence left, and next on my screen is Charan. So that's the last sentence on page 51.
So sentence J, where are the deer? I think there's two ways. One is to just say Putra Sarva Marga, just leave it like that and don't add Bhavanti, which is the second way. So you'd say Putra Sarva Marga Bhavanti. Or to use it in Sandhi form, you'd go Putra Sarva. So in Sandhi it'll be Putra Sarva Marga Bhavanti.
Okay. Two things there. I think the reason that he put in all the deer simply was to indicate that it was plural. With all, but you used the word sarva, meaning all, which is correct. But there is a slight complication with sarva because it makes it's the pronominal declension, so it makes its nominative plural in sarve, not sarva.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So all the deer would literally be sarve mriga. It's the same in Pali when we chant sabbe buddha. In Sanskrit, sarve buddha. In Pali, sabbe buddha. It's the same rule in Pali. Anyway, don't worry about that too much. It's something that we haven't got to yet. But just remember, there are certain words that make their nominative masculine plural with an a.
Thank you.
Right. Because much easier in Hindi, it's just sub. Yeah, much easier. The interclinable sub. Right. So this brings us to the end of lesson 5. The next 2 pages, 52 and 53 in the grammar book, these are just summary pages of the vocabulary that we've already done. So I can just leave it to you to revise those diligently in your own time. So we now, before going on to lesson 6, we hadn't done verse number 5, the supplementary verse, which I will call up onto my screen. Hopefully you've all seen this. Some of you are looking puzzled as if you're seeing it for the first time. I'm fairly sure that I mentioned it in my, hang on, come on. So I'm just calling something up quickly. Okay. What I do for those who are on my Pali class mailing list, I always mail out at the end of the Pali class, which immediately follows this, what we've done for Sanskrit and what we've done in the Sanskrit and Pali classes. There are some of you, several of you may not be on the Pali mailing list, though I think it should be mentioned in the Buddhist Society's mail bot that we were doing verse 5. If any of you are not on the Pali class mailing list, I'm very happy to put you there. I can just write my email address for you. If you want to email me, I can put you on the list. Email me. So if you mail jamespwhelan67@gmail.com, then I'll put your email address on the list. And what I send out after each Pali class, I send out this. So I say what we will be doing next time round in Sanskrit and what we'll be doing next time round in Pali. In Sanskrit for the next 2 weeks and in Pali for the next three weeks. If any of you find it helpful, feel free to ask me and I'll simply put your names on the list. Easily done. Right. So supplementary verse 5. On the study resources sheet that you will have access to because it's on my Google Drive, I've got all of the links to the Australian National University Sanskrit course. They go through Thomas Eganus as well, and with these verses. It's useful to look at it in parallel because you get the same material presented to you with two different voices, two different ways. So this is the verse, and the verse always contains a bit of grammar that's beyond what we've done, but don't worry about that. It's still fairly simple. So Koti bhara samarthanam king duram vyavasayinam go videsha savidyanam kahapara priyavadinam. Let me explain this to you. Well, before I explain it to you, I would like to have it repeated by two separate authentic Indian voices. So Ashvina, do you feel able to recite this shloka for us?
Yes, but I can't see it. Am I supposed to be seeing it on the screen?
Can the rest of you see it on screen?
No.
No? Why? Why can you not see it on screen?
We're seeing your notes. We're seeing your notepad.
Hang on, you can see my notepad?
Yeah, that, you know, where you just did you wrote your Gmail address. That's what I can see.
Yeah.
I've just pulled it over. I've put it onto my shared screen and it's not showing what don't know why that happens. I'm going to stop the share.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to start share again. Share screen. Can you see it now?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, that's okay.
Okay, right. Sorry, I wondered why you were all looking so puzzled. Okay, that explains it. Ashvina, do you have good sight of it now?
Yes, I do now. Thank you.
Okay.
I thought I was the only one who couldn't see it, so I didn't say anything initially.
Okay, no, all resolved. I don't know why this is the first time it has happened, because normally I can drag things on and off the screen. I've got 3 screens here. I can drag things on and off the screen and everyone sees what's on shared screen. Something went wrong here. I don't know why. Okay, there we are.
Okay. Koti bhara samarthanam kim duram vyavasayinam ko videshasya vidyanam kapara priyavadinam.
I really like that. Thank you for that, Ashvina. Okay, Charan, it's your turn now.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not familiar with this, so I shall just do my best.
That is all we ask.
Yeah. Koti bhara samarthanam kim duram vyasayinam ko videsha savidyanam kapara priyavadinam.
Right. That was very interesting, Charan, because I noticed that all of the genitive plurals, all the ones ending in am, there are 4 of them, you pronounce with a slightly shortened am. Maybe it's from the the phonetics of your own form of speech. But it came out right. I noticed a slightly shortened ah. So, for example, when Ashvina was pronouncing it, it was a distinctly long arm. Yours was slightly shorter. Interesting that.
Thank you.
Right. So, the word bhara bhara. It is no coincidence that the bhara, burden, from the root to bear, Sanskrit root bri, meaning to bear, and it makes several nouns, several different ways you can make a verbal noun, but one of them is bhara. The bhara can be the act of bearing, the act of carrying, or a burden, as in that which is borne, that which is carried. The prefix ati means over or beyond. And just as in the English word over can have several meanings. One of them is you simply step over something. And the other meaning is too much, as in something is over full, for example, over heavy. You have the same phenomenon in Sanskrit. So kramati.
Are we supposed to be able to see your notepad?
Sorry, you are. Sorry. Thanks for reminding me. Can you see it now? Good. Kramati, to step. Atikramati, to step over something. Bhara, a burden, was just something heavy to carry. And atibhara, that ati, just means something is over heavy, an excessive burden, a burden that is too much to bear. There's an atibhara. So back to the text now. So kotibhara could mean one of two things. It could mean which excessive burden, or it could also mean what is an excessive burden. In English, we tend to say, what burden is too much? It sounds like kotibhara, kotibhara. What is an excessive burden? Samarthanam. This, sorry, I've said I put a, for the strong, I put a question mark in my text there, which should not be there. Oh. Kotibhara samarthanam. When in English we say something is too big for me, and so on. In Sanskrit, you would use the genitive there. If it's difficult for me, in English we'd say, in Sanskrit you'd say it's difficult of me. It's difficult for them. The of them difficult, tesham dushkaram, for example. So here, what is kotibhara? What burden is excessive? Samarthanam, literally of the strong. But what burden, if you are strong, then there is no load that is too great, is what is being said. So that's why the genitive plural is being used, the anam ending. So of the Buddhas, the buddhanam, and so on. The kotibhara samarthanam. What burden is too great for those who are equal to the task? My pencil. Samarthanam is actually a very interesting word. This word samartha in certainly in modern Hindi pronunciation, samart, it means something like successful. You've achieved your goal, samart. Maybe in the other languages of Northern India as well. And it's from our well-known word, artha. The word artha, which in Pali is atta. It means the goal. The opening line, going to Pali now, the opening line of the Karaniya Metta Sutta is Karaniyam atta kusalena yantasantam padam abhisamecha. Karaniyam atta kusalena. In Sanskrit would be artha kushalena, one who is skilled or knows what to do, atta, with regard to the goal. It's a very, very frequent word. Have it firmly imprinted in your minds. It's from the root ri, meaning to go. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on it because it's such an important word. Many words, many roots form a verbal noun by adding a ta. Or atta. There's shamatha, meditation, which in Pali is samatha. It's that same ta. Ri, to go, plus ta. You didn't say rita, but artha, just a variation of to artha. So artha means literally the root meaning of it is a going, a place where you go. Therefore, it means a destination and a goal. So the atta kusalena in Pali, artha kushalena in Sanskrit, one who is skilled in the goal. In other words, how to get to the artha, the goal. Another meaning of artha is wealth. And the reason it came to mean wealth is the idea that what people seek, it's what people seek, is to enhance their wealth. That's why artha also came to mean wealth. And Shastra means teaching. Artha Shastra is just the word, even a modern word, Artha Shastra, meaning economics, the teaching or science of wealth, economics. Anyway, that's quite a rabbit hole here. Now, Artha, the goal. If you're some Artha, you're with the goal. In other words, you're equal to the task. And that's why in Hindi, the modern Hindi meaning of successful, samart, you were equal to the task. You had a task, you had something to achieve, you were with it, you were equal to it, you could do it, therefore successful. So samartha, the original meaning, therefore, remember, it's being equal with the goal, equal to the goal. In other words, capable of achieving. The idea is being generally competent and capable. So kotibhara samarthanam, what burden is excessive for the competent, for the strong? Get my text back again. Kinduram vyavasayinam. So kim, what? Duram, far. What is far? For the vyavasayanam. And vyavasayan means persevering, resolute. It comes from a word, a root originally meaning to finish off. The idea is then gets things done. When we say decisive, from decidere, it means to cut off in Latin. So if you are decisive, It's not shilly-shallying. You cut, there we cut, that's it, decided. So the same kind of idea of vyavasayinam. You kind of finish things off, get them done. Go videsha. Note I've written it without sandhi there. So in the analysis, ga videsha. So it becomes go videsha savidyanam. iPad again. Desha means a country, location, or a country. And videsha, the vi with the meaning of separation or distance of videsha is a foreign land, a strange place. Videsha. You're away from your own desha and you're in a videsha, a strange place. So ko videsha savidyanam. So what place is strange? Where, if you're a knowledgeable person, no place feels strange. Vidya, we'll know meaning knowledge. In Pali is vidya. And even better than that, the ignorance in Pali, but the negating avidya, avidya, literally non-knowing, ignorance. So if you are savidya, you are possessed of knowledge, you are not knowledgeable. So go videsha, sorry, I lost my cursor. Here we are. There we are. Go videsha, what is a foreign land for the knowledgeable? Again, genitive plural, literally, what is a foreign land of the knowledgeable? In English, we say for the knowledgeable. Kahapara priyavadinam. Para means other, strange, not belonging to us.
Hello?
Other. And sorry, somebody was asking. Oh, no, maybe it was just a stray white noise. So para, who is other? Who is a stranger? Ka para, who is a stranger? Priyavadinam. For the sweetly spoken or the kindly spoken. Okay. We have the root pri in something to to enjoy something, to be friendly towards it, to be sweet or nice. I'm sorry, that was I heard a voice, but it was very, very crackly and broken. Say again. Oh, okay, stray voice again. The root pri. Priti, Pali piti. Sweet, sweet or dear. That's the noun. So sweet, dear, friendly, kindly, priya. When we're discussing dukkha, I'm writing Pali now. Piyehi viyogo, separation from that which is loved. Apiyehi, I think, is it samyogo? No, not samyogo. What's the other one? This will do. So priyehi, piyehi, priya, priti. That's the same name as our Home Secretary, remember, Priti Patel. That's the same Priti. So if you were a Priya, so Priya means sweet, friendly, kind. Incidentally, cognate with our English word friend, Priti friend. It's from that same origin. So if you were a Priyavadin, it's from that same Vada, speaking. So we have the Theravadins, the Theravada, literally the saying of the elders, which is the teaching of the elders. Priyavada means sweet talk, a friendly way of talking. A Priyavadin is somebody who speaks in a friendly way. And you make the genitive plural because the stem ends in a consonant. So the genitive plural is Priyavadinam. Kah para Priyavadinam. Who is a stranger for those who speak kindly? So hopefully next time there will be less puzzlement when we come to do the additional verse. One way to guarantee for all of you that there's less puzzlement is that you will get on the all on my mailing list. Though it should be. Well, I'll make sure via Odin and colleagues at the Buddhist Society as well to make sure that all these things do get through. Right, we've gone just over time now. I shall have to cut and run, and some of you, I hope many of you, I shall be seeing then in not many minutes' time when we start our Pali class, when we'll be on the Dhammapada. Oh, yeah, Teresa, we just had a glimpse of you. Very good, yeah. Well out of bed now, yes, decently dressed, thank you.
Sir, before closing, I want to make sure a very small thing.
Please.
It's okay. So the kaha atibaharaha samartanam hinduram vyavasainam kaha vittesha savidyanam kaha paraha priyavadinam.
Yes.
So there are it's very interesting that all the verses have the ending of the sixth case.
That's correct.
But it seems to be that from the translation, that should be suitable if you use the Chaturthi Vibhakti, the fourth case. But I think intentionally you put the sixth case here. Is it?
Okay.
Yes.
I think that this is just the way that the different languages express it. In English, we say, what excessive load exists for the strong? What is a foreign land for the knowledgeable? Who is a stranger for the kindly spoken? That's just English idiom. That's how we do it in English. But exactly that same concept is expressed by the use of the shashti, the vibhakti, the use of the genitive, the sixth case in Sanskrit. So if you say kahpara, if you put this in the chaturthi, the dative, the fourth case, kahpara priyavadibhya, it just wouldn't sound right. It would exactly translate for the sweetly spoken, but it just wouldn't feel right in Sanskrit. In this case, it is difficult for them. In Sanskrit, you wouldn't say tebhyo dushkaram, you say te sham dushkaram, literally difficult of them. It's just idiom. It's the way it's correctly expressed in Sanskrit. I mean, I take your point. If we were doing a direct translation for the kindly spoken, yeah, it might look like a dative, but in fact, it's not.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, then, Bhante.
Thank you.
And I'll see some of you in a few minutes then.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you all.